What's good, you guys? It's your girl Tati, and I am tired. Okay, I just watched 2 hours of Ring of Honor, and I feel overwhelmed. There were like 13 matches, and it just feels like this is too much for 2 hours. Normally, when you are watching wrestling on TV, it's 2 hours, aside from Raw, and then you have what, five, maybe six matches, and then you got some segments in between, promos in between, or whatever. So the shows usually flow pretty good. Now with ROH, there's no commercials, and they give too many matches. We do get a couple of backstage moments, but there's no really big or really great stories going on with ROH, so it feels overwhelming. And oh my gosh, if they can just cut the amount of matches like in half, that would be great. Now we do start off with Gringo Loco versus Gravity, and their styles are very similar. The last time we saw Gringo Loco on ROH, I'm telling you, he was moving around so slowly. He seemed out of breath, and I did suggest that perhaps he should lose the dad bod and get into shape so that he can be able to move around more better in the ring. And this time, he moved a lot better. I can't say he lost weight or anything, but he did not seem to be fatigued like the last time we saw him. Now, while this was a really great opener and I did enjoy this, for the casual fan, they will like this more than someone like me. Someone like me who sees that at times the pacing of this match was slowed down because they're getting ready to hit some spots, and they want to make sure everything is safe and everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be, so that these moves can be executed the way it should. And yes, it gets executed the way it should. However, you take so long just to get in place for these things that at that point it's like it should not have taken that long. So that is the only complaint that I have with this match, and that happened several times throughout the match. So that does take away a couple of cool points from the match, despite it being a great match. Anyway, Gravity takes a win after delivering a Samoan drop from the top rope. Literally thought that something like this would be impossible for someone as small as Gravity compared to Gringo Loco, but he ends up taking a win, and I'm not surprised. Now, up next was another match that I did enjoy, which was Silas Young versus Josh Woods. Pure rules match. So you guys know, 15-minute time limit, and there's rules within that match. Now, I like both of these guys. However, Josh Woods has been doing pretty great. Even though he did not beat Shibata, he had one of my favorite matches that I've seen with ROH this year. So I really did enjoy what we saw with Shibata and Josh Woods. Now with this match, Silas and Josh Woods, the first minute, they're both trying to do the same moves. They're both are trying to counter each other moves. And it's almost like a twin telepathy thing where it's like they both know what's going on in each other's heads. So that was pretty cool. But after 2 minutes, Josh Woods already used his first rope break. And I don't even think he used any rope breaks when it came to him and Shibata last week or the week before. So that was pretty interesting. Now, the match does last about 7 minutes, and both these guys do really great in 7 minutes. And I feel like the way these pure rule matches are, even though you see the clock moving, it seems like what they're doing is making time move slower, which is a good thing. I do feel like I can enjoy the match that way much better. Now, during this match, we do have Josh Woods, who happened to remember that, oh, Silas Young had fucked up his left shoulder way back in the day. Let me focus on that shoulder. So that's what he ended up doing so that he can have control in this match. But then Silas ended up taking some control, and that frustrates Josh Woods. So Josh, he goes and gives Silas a beautiful closed fist to the face, almost knocks him out. And you know what? That's legal. He can only do it one time, so he gets a warning. And from that punch, he ends up hitting a suplex and end up taking the win. So he knew exactly when to take that one punch that he gets in this match, and that helped him win. So this match was enjoyable, even though it was a little bit more on the shorter side. I really did enjoy at least the first 30 minutes or so of the show. And then from there, a lot of it felt like it was dragged on. So many matches. It's just insane. Next, we get a promo from Maria. She talks about her time with pro wrestling, and she says she has built a kingdom, but this time she is looking to build an army. So she is scouting for people to be in that army. Now, we do have Layla Hirsch who comes out and interrupts her little promo, and she's wondering, why have you been scouting me? What is it that you could do for me that I can't do for myself? And Maria announced that she has a match. Well, Layla has a match with Rachel Ellering later on in the night. I guess she's still scouting to see if Layla should be part of her army. Now, next, we do have Athena versus Brittany J in a Proving Grounds match. This was predictable. Athena takes the win. Nothing special about this. But after the match, she does get attacked by the Renegade Sisters. And Billy Starks does come out to help Athena. So things are getting a little bit interesting with the girls. Now, let's talk about this ridiculous but fun tag team match that we had with Stokely Hathaway and Samoa Joe versus The Boys. So the boys, they come out first and they're actually talking to the camera as they're making their way to the ring, kind of like what Dalton does. And that kind of surprised me because I don't remember recently ever really hearing their voices. But anyway, they come out to the ring. Then Joe and Stokely come out together. And then Stokely gets on the mic while they're coming down to the ring. And he's like, you know, Joe could have chose anybody to be his tag team partner, but he chose me, the Rough Rider of ROH. And I'm just like, what the hell? He's like hyping himself up like as if he's the best tag team partner to get in the ring. And he's like, Joe, if you need to tag me in, I'm ready to get in the ring. And I'm like, wow, if you're ready to get your ass whooped, then Joe will definitely tag you in the ring. Now, Joe starts the match off. I don't know which one of the brothers he starts with. I can't tell them apart at this point. But he's decimating the boys at first. And to be honest, he could actually just go for the win, but instead he tags Stokely into the match. Now Stokely gets in and he hits a couple of basic wrestling moves or whatever, little things that anybody can do, but it wouldn't be impressive if it was somebody else. But since it's Stokely, I guess you could say it's a little bit impressive and the crowd is feeling it. But then the boys ended up taking over. They're tired of Stokely trying to show off whatever little moves he can do. And then that's when he pretends that something is wrong with his stomach or whatever. And he's on his knees in the ring. And the referee is distracted with him, trying to make sure he's okay because he ain't no wrestler and can't really take any bumps. And that's when Samoa Joe ended up hitting a clothesline to whichever one of the brothers that's in the ring. So then when Stokely sees that Joe helped him, then he goes to tag Joe, and Joe starts taking over from there, and they are about to win the match. But then here comes Stokely. He's like, hey, I want to do a move. I want to do a move. He's like, I'm going to go on the top rope. And Joe's like, okay. So then he grabs one of the twin that's the legal man in the ring, and he brings him over closer to the corner where Stokely's at. Stokely gets on the top rope, and it looks like he's going to do a cross body onto the twin. But instead, Samoa Joe moves the twin out the way so Stokely can fall flat on his face on the mat. It was actually hilarious. And then Joe is just like, fuck it. And then he ends up giving the twin the coquina clutch and they end up winning. Joe leaves his ass in the ring and make it to the back while the referee is fanning Stokely while he's laying on the mat. Stokely Hathaway is absolutely hilarious. Ain't nothing really technical about this match, but if you want a good laugh, check it out. So next we have Gates of Agony versus Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels. And this is probably my favorite match of the night. Definitely more technical compared to all the other matches that we had tonight. Now, At first, okay, they were saying that, oh, how Gates of Agony have a 17 match win streak. And I was like, wait a minute, in ROH, right? Because they're definitely looking like sore losers on AEW. And to be honest, I kind of don't like that. Sometimes I feel like that might get in the way. So unless you're not watching ROH, you won't see how more dominant they come off in ROH. But then when they're in AEW TV, it doesn't look the same, especially when they went after those two shrimps last night, Nick Wayne and Darby Allin. Like, come on, there's no reason why Nick or Darby should have ended up taking that win. But anyway, this was a really great match. I really enjoyed. You can see so much improvement with Gates of Agony. And then you have Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels, who have experience tagging with each other. So that really showed throughout this match. And I think that's what definitely helped make the match much better. Now, Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels, they're pretty much on a losing streak, but they are helping a lot of these young talents go over when they do things like this, and that I could really appreciate. So they really do help Gates of Agony look great. And also we have Prince Nana ringside, so he's pretty entertaining. I really did enjoy that. Definitely check out this match. Gates of Agony does take the win, so now they're 18th win in ROH. I like where they're going with these guys on ROH, but not necessarily on what is it, AEW. I don't know. I guess the booking should be somewhat similar. So up next we have Madison Rayne versus Danny Moe. Now, I didn't really care about this, but Madison has been gone with an injury for quite some time. I think this is the first match that she's had since she's come back from her injury. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't interesting either. Madison takes the win. Now we do have the Dark Order versus Lord Crew, Isaiah Brunner, and something Calhoun. I can't remember his name. Anyway, I thought it was going to be a squash match because, you know, when they say so-and-so in action, that's usually what it is. But it was actually longer than what a squash match is. Now, Evil Uno starts the match, and he's pretty aggressive starting off. And the first guy that starts off, Isaiah, he's the one who was in a match for the longest, for like pretty much most of the match. And each of the members from the Dark Order, they all get in and have a little piece of him throughout this match. And they're all much more aggressive, especially since they had that match with the Righteous at Death Before Dishonor. So you can see that there's a little bit of a change in their personalities within this match. Now, right in the middle of the match, here comes Stu Grayson, and he's watching them, and the Dark Order are distracted, and they're actually angry that he's there watching their match. So then that's when Isaiah just kind of creeps out the ring, and he go and tag one of the guys to come in, and then that's when we start seeing the other team, you know, participating in this match, I guess. So now, the Dark Order, they're really angry. Stu is still out there, and they end up taking the win and even attacking their opponents after the match. To be honest, I'm a little bit confused with what's going on here. I kind of thought the Dark Order and Stu Grayson thing was over, but I guess not. I'm a little bored. Up next, we have a promo from Claudio Castagnoli. He said, everybody been wondering, where has the ROH champion been? And he says he's been watching what's going on in ROH. He says, so far, everyone that's gone against him have not been ready for him, and that if anyone wants to take the title from him, they better know that they would have to be better than him in order to win. And the last time he checked, no one in ROH is better than him. It's a really great promo. We're getting a lot of great things from Claudio when it comes to promos. I know a lot of people don't really look at Claudio as a promo guy, but he has definitely improved since he's been with the BCC. Up next, we have Griff Garrison versus Cole Carter. Now, Griff does immediately take control in this match, and for a few minutes or whatnot, then he hits a Falcon Arrow, and I'm like, you know what, Cole might lose. But he ends up kicking out, and then from there, Cole takes complete control in the ring up until he takes the win. And then Maria comes out, and he ends up leaving with her. Now, for whatever reason, seeing Cole, his presence kind of reminds me of a young Randy Orton, sort of like legend killer type of vibes or whatnot. I'm not talking about necessarily what he does in the ring, but his presence just reminds me of Randy Orton. I really do feel like if they do take their time with him, we will see some great things from him. So we'll see what's going on up with Maria and her little army that she's looking to create here. Now, up next, we do have Charlotte versus Billy Starks. And the match is okay. Robin is definitely helping her sister throughout the match, and I'm not gonna lie. By this time, I'm bored with the show. I'm kind of wishing it would just be over at this point because it just feels like there's so much going on, and Billy ends up taking the win, which we already knew was going to happen. And then they attack Billy, and here comes Athena helping Billy, like how Billy helped her. And it looks like we're going to see some tag team action with all four of these girls. Later on the show, Billy Starks basically challenges the Renegades for a tag team match for next week on ROH. So that's going to be interesting to see Athena doing something different compared to being in singles action, and see how she can be as a partner with someone who's all happy-go-lucky like Billy Starks. So I'm interested to see where that goes. So next we have Lee Moriarty and the Workhorsemen versus Darius Martin, Action Andretti, and Lee Johnson. I really did enjoy this match. Now I would like to see Lee Moriarty and Lee Johnson have a singles match, or either one of those two with Anthony Henry. I think it would be really, really great to see how well they can do in the ring together. I really like all three of these guys' styles. Now, this was a really great match, and I really do feel like Lee Johnson works well with Action Andretti and Darius Martin. You guys know they used to do trios with AR Fox. AR Fox has joined the dark side, and it's lovely over there, so he's not going back with the other two guys. So they have a really great match. Not surprised to see that Action Andretti takes the win for his team. I want to see these three guys together again. And also, I'm kind of sad that we're not seeing Big Bill with Lee Moriarty. Yeah, I really like them together, but I do think that maybe we'll see Big Bill doing bigger and better things. And Lee Moriarty's super talented, so I hope we get to see more with him as well. So up next, we have Lady Frost versus Trish Adora. And this is one of the better women's match of the night. So I really did enjoy them together. I was surprised to see Lady Frost take the win. I think that's her first win with ROH. I'm not 100% sure, but I remember her pretty much losing all her other matches. I do think she has great chemistry with Trish Adora, but tonight she did much better here, ends up taking the win. And then Kiera Hogan challenges Lady Frost to a match for next week. So it's going to be interesting to see. Kiera Hogan's been doing great as well in ROH. I don't think we've seen too much from her, but her little feud with Athena was pretty great and I enjoyed it. So let's see what Kiera can do against Lady Frost. Now, at this point, I'm looking at my watch and I'm hoping the show will be over soon enough, but we still have a few more matches. Up next, we have Layla Hirsch versus Rachel Ellering. Layla takes the win. It's just feeling too predictable. I almost fell asleep watching that. Then we do have Dalton Castle versus pretty Peter Avalon. And to be honest, he was prettier with the long hair. They have a decent match, but to be honest, it's just... what can I say? Too many matches already, and I just could not really feel as interested. Dalton Castle takes the win here. And then we also get a promo from Shane Taylor. Shane Taylor is letting everybody know he's going to remind everyone exactly who he is when he beats Samoa Joe for the TV title. I am looking forward to seeing that match between the two of them. I'm not sure when we're going to get that. Let's get on to the main event. So for the main event, we do have Tony Nese versus Metalik. First of all, Tony Nese comes out. He rather does a group workout instead of getting into a match. Then Jerry Lynn's interrupt the workout and lets him know that you cannot cancel matches so that everybody else can do workouts so they can lose weight. So what he ends up doing is bringing out Metalik, and they have a match. Now, they have a great match, and for a main event, This could have literally been in the middle of the card. It was great, but it was like less than 10 minutes and didn't really feel like something to close off the show with. I probably would have went with the Gates of Agony match. I think they had the best match of the night. I would have rather ended with that. Now, Tony Nese does end up losing this match, but I have to say that I realized the pages that post the spoilers, they actually post them in the order of how the matches take place. So how we see it is not necessarily how it's done in front of the crowd. So they do change the order of the matches. And that right there is a little concerning because it's like, okay, your show is taped and you have the opportunity to change the order around for when you air it on the app. Why are you guys not putting it in a much better flow so that the show can start off with, something to hit the show off with something, much cooler, like how we had with Gringo Loco and Gravity. That was a great way to start off. And some matches that might have fallen a little flat can be put somewhere in the middle of the in the middle of the card. So they have an opportunity to manipulate it, and I don't think they're doing a good job at that. Anyway, the show was okay, but with too many matches, you're going to get bored by the time the second hour comes because it's just too much going on. And like I've said, it's quality over quantity. I'd rather see less matches and great quality matches and some stories being told over them going with the dark elevation format where they would just hit a whole bunch of matches and then you don't get anything else. It's just way too much stuff. This episode is kind of skippable other than the couple of matches that I told you was great. But I am looking forward to seeing Samoa Joe and Shane Taylor. Not sure if that's next week, but if it is, I know we're going to see some really great things from them. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll be back on Friday with me and Paige. Bye.